Isn't it about time dads and men had a podcast for us? Somewhere we could go to relieve some stress, help the time pass, and have a chuckle or two. A place for us. This is Word Brings Word. If you're looking for a show with general trending topics and concerns by men and dads, you've found your home. Funny, opinionated, real and raw. This is Word Brings Word, and this is your host, Bruce Jackson.
Welcome back to Word Brings Word. This is Bruce.
This is Gene.
We got, some people on the phone call. Y'all go ahead and give them the roll call, y'all. Go ahead and let them know who's on here.
This is what Big Diesel was happening.
This is Two Bricks Terry.
All right, y'all. So, y'all got any word today? Anybody got anything y'all want to talk about? Any word on the street? Because I got something. If y'all got some word.
Well, let's talk about the topic. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go straight to it.
Well, I know y'all have seen by now about this big old football player. Look like he just got out. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
He looked like he just got out. I mean, I don't know. I know people pick the worst pictures that they can when they're putting something online. Well, this dude looked like he just got through doing 5 sets of chest and shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Super swole. And all I saw was a headline that just said, former New York Jets running back Zac Stacy viciously attacks ex-girlfriend in front of the five-month-old son.
Can we just talk about the clickbait of former NFL?
Right.
I mean, is it clickbait if it's true?
I mean, it's clickbait, because it really doesn't matter in this situation. It's really a man versus a woman.
I don't know if we can really say that.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because that's the top echelon of athletes. So to me, they're like, listen, this is the caliber athlete he was. Like, Joe Smo over here who you got the old people that was washed up that didn't make it, but they still out here trying to throw a football. Like, yeah, I used to be the quarterback in high school. That person wouldn't be held to the same athleticism probably as Tom Brady out here. So if Tom Brady did something, I could see them being like, oh man, ex-Patriots champion, Tom Brady versus, Eugene over here who was, throwing the football.
But I feel like it's more like clickbait though. Like, it's like, if you've seen that video without that title, what difference would it have made for your opinion in it? Like, because it's NFL now, it's even stronger if you don't like the NFL.
I just told you the difference to me. But what y'all think?
Like, watching the video, you'd have that difference, you're saying?
It would make the difference before clicking. I'd be like, like when I saw him, I'm telling you, just from the way he looked, I was already like, golly. But when it says NFL, I'm like, just because I know how hard they got to work and what they constantly working out, whatever. What y'all say?
I don't think it would have made one bit of difference if it was NFL or Joe Blow off the street. Just watching the video was bad,
You're talking about watching the video. I'm talking about what you're thinking before the video, just off of reading the headline.
I didn't care if it was NFL or not.
All right, what you think, D?
I get it. They're gonna try to sell it, make it a story. That's the media.
All right, so tell me what y'all saw in the video. For the listeners, let's say the listeners didn't hear it. They didn't see this. They didn't know about it. They're like, Zac Stacy, who's that? They have no clue. What did y'all see in the video? Everybody can get a chance to tell what it was they saw, and what's the first thing you thought of after watching this clip.
I saw a guy doing too much, man.
Terry, you saw a guy doing too much.
Too much. I mean, that no matter what, no matter what she said, no matter what she did, you are doing too much. You went too far. Period. Mm-hmm. So there's no justification for you.
Okay, but that's not really telling the people what happened. Like, what did you see in the video?
Well, what happened? This young man beat the brakes off of this lady.
Okay.
For whatever reason, he's slinging her around, tossing her around like she was a football or a rag doll, and that was just uncalled for. So.
All right, tell BD, what did you see?
I saw that he should have been the offensive lineman instead of a running back because he. I'm not gonna make it like, but I saw, man. He hit it with that hard right hook, man. It was bad. It went to a television. My first thought was, man, he going to jail. Yeah, he going to jail for this. That's what I was thinking.
All right, Gene, what's a quick? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, BD. What?
No, go ahead. No, yep, that was it. Yep.
All right, Gene, what's a quick summary of what you saw?
I seen a guy that looked like he got frustrated for whatever reason. Kind of like everybody saying there's really no excuse for it. But I also was looking at her a lot, and keep in mind I watched this without audio, but just from the looks of it, from what I seen, she didn't look really, really scared like I think you should look, but that's just my personal opinion. I was just looking at her face. It wasn't a lot of tears coming out or anything like that. So it seemed like she's kind of used to this life is what I'm really getting at. Like, this is not the first time this happened is what it kind of looked like to me.
Okay. All right, so so I asked y'all for these summaries on purpose because I knew we was going to get 3 different stories, right? And this is really what happens with the media. So what Terry said made it sound like she got swung all over the place. You know what I mean? He said she got swung around like a rag doll. BD said she got hit with a right and went into the TV. So BD left out the fact that she got hit and went down on the couch or whatever. Then he picked her up and threw her into the TV. Gene is making it sound like she's sitting there like, yeah, I'm used to this. This is just another day. You know what I'm saying? So I just said that to say this is what happens when we do see something out there. You know what I mean? Now, what actually happened in the clip, in case the people don't want to go back and watch it, you know, the camera is at an angle that looks like it's really 2 cameras in there. We got one looks like it's coming maybe from the kitchen, I'm guessing, because it looks like they're in the living room in front of a TV. You see a little baby stroller down there on the floor. There wasn't no baby there, but I saw in some other news description that said there was a baby on the couch. But you see a camera view from an angle over there. Then later on in the video, you see like an up close view. So it was almost like somebody done set this up on purpose, or maybe they just happened to have cameras up there, and maybe the wife took it upon herself to put this good looking video together to expose this man. But from when it starts, when we see her, it looks like he swung once, but didn't really get a good swing. So then he caught her with the real good Rocky Balboa hit. And that's when she went down hard on that couch. And then he got up and we see her go over there and grab her and throw her into the TV like he was throwing her into the ropes on WWE. We all agree?
I guess so. Detective Jackson, goddamn, okay.
I'm saying, the story we tell matters, right? Because somebody's going to hear this and they're going to go out and be like, yeah, so he was just slinging her all over the place. And then it leads on and on. Like somebody in the comments said, oh, did y'all see the baby fly across he turned the baby upside down. You don't see no baby in the video, really.
No baby.
But people going to go off of that comment and be like, oh my God, what do you mean there was a football player that kicked the baby? Like it just, you see y'all know the thing is, what you say?
I said I did see that cat take over though. That cat wasn't having it.
Yeah, they look like a cat that jumped across the screen. But like the thing in school where you gotta listen to a story and whisper it to the next person, to the next person. By the time they get to the 5th person, it's changed because people hear stuff differently. They interpret stuff differently. And so now the blue cat that walked outside Thursday morning and trying to get home by Friday turned into there was a black cat that slept outside. And you know what I mean? Right. Hope they just get lost. But all right, so some people will say, well, she probably deserved it. Some people will say it don't matter. So I feel like that's where we can really take the conversation at is what do y'all think she could have did so bad? First of all, when you see this video, I want all y'all's opinion. Do you think it matters if this was the first time or if this has happened before?
No, it don't matter. You shouldn't have did this, period.
Right. It doesn't matter in the scheme of was he right or wrong.
Right.
Now, do you think there's something she could have done that would justify this?
There's nothing you could have done to justify beating on anybody like that, especially a woman. There's
right.
nothing. She could have fucked my best friend here, Bruce. She could have gave it to you left and right. I was like, oh my God.
I think this is the topic
that
right here. What he's saying, like he's talking about, especially a woman.
No, I just want inputs. BD, what you think? Is there anything that could have justified that?
Boy, no, man, you got to call the cops, man. I'm trying to see, man. Maybe
it's taking you a little while to get to it now.
I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to give you my perspective, nigga. I'm saying, I think that maybe she harmed the kids or something. I mean, that's the only way, you know. She was beating on the baby or something, you know.
Like he walks in and he sees her over there punching the baby in the face out of frustration for whatever reason.
Exactly. Right. Oh, that's all I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying that's justifiable. You be like, oh my God, we heard it like came out. Oh, she was abusing the baby on camera.
Can we look at it like this real quick?
Okay.
We first start seeing the video. We didn't see her doing nothing but standing in a position.
Correct.
So there's no justifying that. All we seen her doing is standing there. So we can't say maybe the kid was wrong.
He deserved
right. Well, I'm asking what could have caused it because there's also video editing too, Terry. So you know what I mean. It's easy to put the piece out there you want them to see.
What could justify him doing that? That's it.
Right. Before that, she could have had a big knife swinging at him, trying to cut him, and he knocked it out of her hand and it swung at her. And then she went over there and got the clip. Was like, I'm gonna start it right here where he swung. That's why I'm just asking y'all as y'all's opinion, because everybody's from different streets, different lives, or whatever. What do y'all think could have happened that would have justified it? What do you think, Gene? What could justify it to you?
There's no justification. I mean, I don't see any. I can't even see any. I mean, because we're supposed to be better than that. Now, do I know things happen and people black out and lose their mind? Yes.
We're supposed to be better as men, or we're supposed to be better as humans?
Humans.
Okay.
And that's why I was trying to point out earlier what Terry was saying with, especially a woman. It's like, well, it should be across the board. And I think that's where the teaching goes wrong in the household, that they're teaching little boys not to hit women, but not to hit other men too should be taught. And then women don't get taught none of the above. So women can come over and hit men, no problem in life, but men can't hit women. That's what you kind of get taught.
So I feel like it would be not justified. Maybe justified might not be the word I want to say, but it would be understandable if I walked in on my woman cheating on me. You know what I mean? Like something like that.
It ain't understandable.
Something like that might take me out of my mind for a second. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, Fabo brought up a good point yesterday and was saying it's a different charge if you're hitting them on the ground while they're on the ground. Like, so when he hit her and she went to the couch, if she had fell on the ground and then he came off the top rope with an elbow or a knee drop on her, now it becomes something totally different. And I feel like that's good points to make. Now, Fabian ain't no attorney, so I don't know for real. You know what I mean? Right. But I do know when it comes to sentencing and laws, there's different things that take stuff to another level.
Yeah.
I got a friend who beat the brakes off somebody, and the only reason he didn't get the book thrown at him because he was the one that called the ambulance for the guy. So in court, they said, well, you obviously wasn't trying to kill him for real and take his life if you're the one that seeked help for him.
Right.
So I was like, wow, okay, that makes sense. So what y'all think about that, y'all? What y'all think? I mean, do y'all believe like, yeah, there's something that could take you out of your right mind, or it's like, nah, even if I was out my right mind, I still wouldn't swing on her like that.
I'm not doing that because first thing, I don't want to go to jail for any reason. For me being able to just walk away. So I'm trying to show that I'm the bigger man, and fuck, you can have whoever or whatever. You can have it.
What do you think, D?
But I'm gone. I'm gone.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. The baby showed you how to handle this situation as a black man. He showed you. Call the police.
I understand. You know? Yeah. Okay, so Terry, are you familiar with the situation? What happened with the baby?
Oh, I heard a baby in the background, but I didn't see any baby.
No, not the baby in this story. The baby, the rapper.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know who the baby is.
Look, the baby, the rapper. Hey man, y'all wild. Listen. All right, so DaBaby the rapper, and I don't really know the full story. Y'all can tell me what y'all know. I just know I saw a video clip showing where his baby mama was over there at the house. I guess he had called the police on her, like, hey, I done told her to get out the house. She ain't getting out the house or whatever. Right. And then that started going viral because she was like, oh, how he gonna kick us out when I got my little baby here with me and all this stuff. I mean, Gene, you got any more insight on that? What happened? Or maybe how it got to that point or whatever?
Nah, not really. It's all over the place. It's a crazy story.
What about you, Big D? Have you heard anything different about it? Like basically how we got here and stuff? How they got to that point?
How they got to that point?
Yeah.
I guess he got to the point. What I'm hearing is that she came to stay there to heal, quote unquote, heal with him for 3 months. And after that, man, he said, listen, man, this ain't my girl, man. You got to go. So
for what we hear, and this is just for the interwebs out there, this is stuff we're hearing because, we get data so fast. It happens so quick. It's really just a boom, a story. And we're listening to it. We're listening to the clip. We're watching the audio. So then it's really about whatever we're getting from the person saying it.
Right.
And then we're just seeing stuff in the comments where everybody's just passing judgment anyway. So, but BD, you're saying from what you've heard, it sounds like she was supposed to be staying with him to heal. He's like, hey, it's been too long now. You got to go.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's time to go now. I got other jumps to make over here, man.
Right. Now, I know he's been in some other issues with the law recently also. Not maybe with the law, but with social media. And to me, that's almost as bad as the law if you're someone in the spotlight because they control a lot of stuff, really, when you get your money and your paychecks from the people. And without the people, it's hard to really go forward. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the people are just important as the people that sign your paycheck stuff. So I feel like it was good. And it was like he must have learned from the past, you need to call the police. Because I've told my friends in the past, whenever a situation happened, whoever get to the police first is the winner.
Right.
If I sit here and steal on Eugene right in the face, pow, he didn't even know what's coming. If I just sit here and steal on him and call the police, like we got into an altercation, he hit me, and then I hit him back. It's almost too late if Gene try to call him now, like, yeah, man, this man attacked me. They'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, but we already got his story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What y'all know? What you think about that, Terry, Fabian? Y'all agree? Not Fabian. I'm sorry, Terry, Big D, Gene.
I mean,
go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of them things. Like I seen the video, he really was attacking the girl. Like I said, it didn't seem like the first time to me. I felt like she should have been, more like, terrified, running out the door, trying to get away. Like, then we're looking at,
we're talking about DaBaby and Denny Lee. What's going on right now?
They bringing me back to that incident.
They talking this morning, boy. These niggas off, boy.
I'm looking at him like,
what about?
Oh my God!
I'm saying, what do you think about the fact that he called the police? You think like, okay, this happened the right way or whatever?
I mean, it's the only way. You record and you call the police. It's the only way. Like nowadays, there is no other way. Everybody wants to fact check your receipts, this and the
third. Terry, Big D, what y'all want to chime in on it?
I don't have no comment on this one.
Yeah. Terry said he don't even know who DaBaby is. He's like, DaBaby.
I don't, man. I can't.
Terry said I never saw a baby even on the couch. We're like, wait, what?
Baby, THE baby.
He said DaBaby. THE.
Oh shit! Y'all boys are funny, God.
Okay, so look, y'all. So let's tie these two stories in together, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what lessons are we really learning from this, or taking from this, or thinking about? This is what we need to be telling our kids now, based on this stuff, based on the woman getting hit, the guy hitting her. That's a whole situation. Based on DaBaby being involved in whatever altercation, but him being like, "Hey, I'm calling the cops," because y'all know in our community, it's easy for somebody to be like, "You called the cops," and they just turn their face and nose up, like, "I can't believe you called the cops." So, what lessons are we taking from both of these right here that we're gonna tell our kids about?
Oh well, what I'm gonna tell my kids, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. I'll go first.
Okay.
You have to walk away from this situation because you will find yourself in more trouble than you can shake a stick at. No matter what she did, said, spit on you, whatever, it can't be worth your freedom. So you got to walk away, and you have to stay away from her, man. You can't go back because that crap, after we get calmed down, you'll come back and I'm sorry. No, because you almost put me in a point to where I was going to go to jail, and that means it's going to continue to keep happening because they will continue doing it. Now, I've been in situations like that before. That's why I say that. That's where I say that from.
What's your takeaway, Big D?
I agree with Terry to a degree, but this is great. I tell my son this is a great example of one man who can control his emotions and one man who could. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And as men, we got to be able to control our emotions, man. We can't let nobody rattle us, man.
So, not like that.
Society that's trying to take us down. They can't wait for to take you down on some stuff like this.
So, Big D, I know in a past episode, I know you were talking about when we were talking about it with police. I remember you saying, man, it's like a black man can't have a bad day.
Exactly.
So what if you'd had your talk with your son already? He's like, well, Dad, I mean, dang, I can't have a bad day. What if I was having a bad day and then she did this and da 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 da? And then what? How would you respond to that then?
But I'm gonna go full Tariq Nasheed on this one. Y'all know who Tariq Nasheed is, don't you?
Mm-hmm. You know who that is, Terry?
No, I'm a little lost.
Yeah, tell Terry who it is, and if the people ain't listening.
Okay,
y'all gonna have to get some brothers back in the 70s and 80s for me to know.
Well, BD might know some, right? BD knows some people.
Put it in labor terms. Put it in labor term for an old head. Tariq Nasheed is like the modern day Malcolm X. That makes sense? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. You know? Okay. He a pro black. He's on the internet and he got a good following, man. He come out with a lot of good information. But we gotta understand we in a society, especially as a black man, we're in a society that tries to destroy us. Right. A lot of people gonna have their opinions on that. We can argue that or disagree. But if you read books and literature, their whole plot is to destroy the black family. Okay, so that we not even a debate. But so we gotta be mindful of that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we can't have a bad day. Because us having a bad day can get you life in prison. You hear me?
It can't lead into a worse day, and that will send you to prison. It can't lead into a worse day. We can have a bad day, but it can't lead into a worse situation because that's going to continue to have months of bad days if you indulge in that.
Absolutely.
So what's your takeaway, Gene? What you going to tell your kids based on these two stories? What would you tell them?
I mean, basically, kind of they summed it up. You kind of got to control your emotions. I know it's hard. Things ain't easy. It's easier to walk away a lot of times before it gets to this point. But basically, the control of emotions, which is something that you kind of got to work on your whole life.
All right, so
it ain't easy to walk away, but boy, you gotta do your best.
This is a good. BD, how old is your son?
11.
He's 11. How old is your oldest son, Gene?
14.
14. Now, would y'all agree that those two boys are old enough now to where they could really get demonized or whatever if they did the wrong thing or handled their own situation with a kid, right? Y'all agree?
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
Okay. All right, right. So when so that leads me to ask you this: have you already had conversations with them about controlling their emotions and how society will see them if this or that happens? Because see, it's one thing for us as men to be having conversations and talking about it. Yeah, I'm gonna tell my kids this, but then it makes me wonder: well, did we already tell the kids that? Because the things that we would have been in trouble for at 16, kids are getting in trouble for now at 10 and 9. Y'all know what I mean?
Right.
We've seen situations in the news where they're like, this boy, he was looking like a demon. And you like the little kid that had the Skittles? Yeah, he looked like a demon at the time. I thought my life was at risk. And then that makes that shapes the whole story that the jury is hearing, the judge is hearing, and everything. And it changes the whole outcome. Right. So I'm just wondering, since y'all have young men, young boys, have y'all already had any kind of talks with him like this? Then I got other questions. You already have?
Absolutely, man. So I give you an example of this, man. I talked to him about this last week. I'm down here asleep on the couch, nigga. All of a sudden I hear screaming, threw a remote control down, nigga crying. I got up, walked up the stairs, like, man, what's going on? Man, I'm losing this game, and this game sucks. I said, hey, man, you gotta control. Boy, you get your ass whooped out here, man. You gotta control your emotions. Then I went to the spell away. You gotta control your emotions like a man. You just sit there looking at me like, you're right, Dad. You're right. I'm sorry. Hey, man, get this shit in control, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't be no black man. Then you're a big black man on top of that. Act lashing out like that, man. You get thrown into jail, cuz.
Now that's a good one and a good way to bring it, because I know even Gene, I ain't gotta ask. I know Gene's kid plays games. That's big in the kid community now. Whether it's Fortnite or whatever, there's something they're playing, and when they lose, they're going to react a certain way. They play. You know what I mean? This is a very competitive world now for kids, but amongst games, it ain't that competitive with sports and stuff. Everybody get a little trophy.
Right.
But when you playing that console game, you don't get better. You don't rank up. Your man don't get better or whatever if you're not out there getting the same number of kills as that best man and all that. So have you got to talk to yours, Gene, about any of this?
Not in the sense of like it's emotions. Like I kind of come at it at a different angle. I'm more or less like trying to tell him to find a way to release. So, I kind of grew up where there was a lot going on, so you're upset a lot. So I'm trying to explain to him like, okay, well, when you're upset, you're naturally going to have these emotions. You can't stop them from coming. So what you can do is release them. So I kind of tell him to try sports. Let's work out. Let's go on runs. These type things to release. Like, is this making you calmer? These type things. So I don't really come at it as a straight emotional thing. I come at it as a more like a release. Like find your happiness, find your peace, and then you can go here when you have these emotions.
Okay. What y'all think? Any thoughts? Terry or BD?
That's it on that one. I agree.
So I believe. I mean, I ain't giving parenting advice. I believe both of y'all said like two good things, but I feel like both of y'all said two different things. Because Gene is talking about long-term management. BD's talking about something that happened right then, boom, out of the blue that you didn't really think was coming or might have been happening. So I feel like Eugene, like BD's son, could have been doing what Eugene's saying. He could be relieving a lot of stress, but when they play this game, it's so intense right then, he still could snap or whatever because he hates the thought of losing, or he thought he was the best or whatever.
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Terry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got what's up?
No, go ahead. What your thing is? What?
My thing is like also, as coming from my martial arts perspective, if I get you upset, you lose. You know what I'm saying? You can't afford to get upset when you lose.
Right.
You gotta learn how to adjust and figure stuff out, man. As a man, that's very important.
Right.
Adjustments, figure it out.
Now Terry used to be a referee. Terry, you got any angles you can bring from the referee side of the game? I mean, because I know you've probably seen players that you knew were the best on the team or the greatest out there or whatever for that age group, but see how they may have got frustrated and then all of a sudden they was just losing it. They sucked after that or whatever. What's your thoughts? You got anything to add to that?
Sometimes I couldn't interject with them because you gotta be biased for both sides. So if you try to talk to one player that way too much, is going to cause problems with the other coach.
Right.
But when I was in the younger leagues where I could talk with the players a lot, I'd always try to tell them the same thing that you guys are saying. Hey, come on now. We can't lose it because now you're not playing good.
Right.
And that's any sport. If it's martial arts, basketball, football, whatever, well, football might be a little bit different. But if you lose control, you lose some of your ability. You got to be in control. You got to stay in control. You got to control that anger there. Now, football might be a little different because you take that anger and shellac somebody, right?
Right.
But could get you in trouble because maybe you went too far.
Yeah, we've seen times where kids mess around and hit somebody from behind with the helmet and all of that because they got upset.
That's too far. Let's do it within the confines of the game.
Yeah, late hits. Yeah. All right, so I wouldn't be me if I ain't put these certain spins on these topics. Now,
There you go.
let me control it. Let's go back to the football player, Zac Stacy, who was giving old girl the uppercuts. You know what I'm saying? he looked like, hey, buddy looked like he was trying to turn her into a hashtag. You know what I'm saying? Would this have gone as viral and be talked about as much if that was a black man hitting a black woman? Who want to go first? Oh, now we got crickets.
Oh no.
I'm just waiting for somebody to say something. I personally believe, period, it doesn't matter, because I think what's that boy who beat the girl up in the elevator? She was black. Yeah, and it went just as bad. The question is if you were a Caucasian guy.
Well, that was going to be next
lineman.
Well, yeah, and you know what? Let's discuss it all. If you were a white Caucasian lineman or whatever, same build, same sport, same NFL team, whatever. If he was white hitting a white woman like that, would we have even seen it? Would it even make it to Instagram and everywhere else?
That's the real question. That's the real question. Why are we seeing this stuff? Like, people keep is this attention? That's the real question. This goes to the police, right? You're scared. You got evidence, so you got proof. You go to the police. You don't go to the internet and ask them for help.
Now, I'm still wondering, and I know y'all can't answer this, but how did this get posted anyway? This is supposed to be a personal matter. If I was a woman, I wouldn't want nobody to see me had to go through that.
She posted it.
I don't want nobody. She did.
She posted it. I found out. She posted it.
I followed her he did.
To the group. Yeah, she posted.
So hold on. So Big D found Detective Big D found her Instagram page, and I think when he showed me yesterday, she had 5,000 something followers, and she only had one video up there.
One post.
Her bio on her page said, "Yes, this is me from the video getting hit by my husband, or getting hit or whatever." You know, I don't know the title.
That's
she
her
used.
husband too.
That's why I'm taking that back. I don't remember the title. I just remember you could tell this page was either just created to show y'all this, or maybe she deleted everything else, because people do that. That's part of playing the Instagram algorithm. I'm not going to keep every bit of my stuff up there. Let me take off older stuff so the algorithm will keep thinking I got newer stuff, whatever. But the key is she only had that one photo up there and made the point to say, yeah, that's me in the video, and had 5,000 something people already following her.
But hold on, when you what I like about Instagram, all you gotta do is just slide over with tags, and everybody who tagged her, but all her pictures was up. I said, there she go. There she go.
He said, there she go.
That's all right now.
Well, we want to learn. You want to figure some information out, boy. You figure out how to use Instagram, won't you?
But Instagram give you everything you need.
Do you think this was a hoax?
What do you mean by hoax? Hoax sounds made up, and that hit wasn't made up. So what do you mean, Terry?
Everybody's aspiring to be an actor. Do you think it was a hoax?
No.
You think? I mean, because why would you post some shit like that on Instagram?
But that's
whatever. Why would you do that,
watch, Terry? That's half the videos we watch. You got to think about who's posting this. Why did you want us to see this?
But that's why we don't get to. People don't think about it from that angle. They don't think that.
I just can't get it, man. I don't. That's the part that's showing me up. I don't see why you would post that. I wouldn't want the world to see that. Period.
Because Terry, and people probably gonna get mad when I say this, because women love attention, bad or good.
Wow.
That or she's trying to she's trying to set herself to paint a certain narrative later. All right, let me paint something for you, Terry. You got a little camera in your house. Your wife see you and hers on the ouch. Y'all always into it lately. Let's say sometimes she smacks you, you smack her back, whatever. Y'all always get into it. And she says one day, or she has a friend or an attorney or anybody who says, "How is your home life? But can you prove that?" And da 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 da. And she knows, all right, one day I'm gonna get ready to leave or whatever, or I need whatever she's trying to get to. She knows I need to paint a narrative. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to really set him off and piss him off. I'm going to talk about his mama. I'm going to do everything else. I'm going to tell him I slept with his friends. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get him under his skin and get him out of the right mind to make him swing on me. I'm not saying this happened. I'm just saying hypothetically, this is what your wife could be doing or try to do, right? And let's say she did that and swung on you, and you swung back on her like you ain't gonna be hitting me or whatever. You might have only did one time. You might have only hit her the one time or whatever. She could just as easily take the clip from that video. She could go in the bathroom. I mean, we've seen in the movies where they go in the bathroom, hit themselves in the face or whatever, and then be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe Terry just beat me down." And by the time she makes that post and puts that video out there and pictures of herself, it's over. Ain't no, it wasn't really like that, man. Come on, man. Y'all didn't see the whole clip. Man, ain't nothing Buddy can say right now that's going to really save him, especially if she may have already deleted some of that video, the footage or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying people are cold nowadays with their editing and painting the narrative and stories they want to paint.
Right.
Yeah, they are.
And that's why they can
this
do
story
that.
Sound good.
And
so, I don't know.
I know there was another situation where someone we knew, him and his girl were getting into it domestically or whatever, and the police she called the police on him. Police came to the house, and even though he was like, "Nah, man, don't worry about it," they said, "No, now that we're here, one of y'all got to come with us."
I done heard that.
Now they said,
I've heard that before.
Now they said, even though we asked questions, it looks like she's the one in the wrong. And they told him, if you go, it's going to go on your record, but if she go, it won't. That kind of blew my mind there because I was like, wait, what?
Well, that happened to my son as well, man. He called the police and got arrested. He goes, "She's beating the brakes off me. I'm trying not to hit her." And then it just, from there on out, it just went south. Anytime they had problems, he goes, "Well, it ain't going to matter. They're going to arrest me anyway, so I might as well get you."
Well, that's part of that. That's part of that training right there, where a woman thinks it's okay to hit a man because you shouldn't hit her back, because she knows you got taught not to hit a woman. And that's where I feel like, it gets kind of crazy because she can push you and push you and push you and jump all in your face. And again, you should walk away and control your emotions. But at the same time, where's her accountability? She also knows you're a man.
Where's her?
She also knows that you could hurt her. But she knows she knows you grew up, and the law out here for men is just like you said earlier. Oh, you shouldn't hit people, but especially, why is there like an emphasis on the woman? It shouldn't be hitting nobody, like across the board. But she knows you're getting trained. Like, hey, you can hit another man, but you better not hit me because I'm a woman. And you know what happened if you hit me.
Oof. Well, you preaching on it, boy. Hey. So let's get to, where did this demonization of men come from? When did this start and why? Because for the most part, men have been great at civilizing the world. We look around.
Whoa!
Look at all the great things that men have created. So why are they demonizing men?
I'm glad you asked that.
Okay.
Because somebody before told me, I'm not gonna point any elbows. But y'all can't see me on the phone. I said I'm not gonna point any elbows, but I scratched my head on purpose, so my elbow was pointing toward Eugene. I'm not gonna point no elbows, but I'm pointing at Eugene for real. Somebody told me that the men used to beat the women up in the back in the day in the household and stuff. I told them I didn't think that was true. I said I think that was the narrative that was pushed out. I know Kevin Samuels talks a lot about the color purple narrative. Like I said, I don't feel like women are at home. It was just getting the brakes beat off of them or whatever. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I'll let him tell his side in a second, but I don't really think he made a good job. He did a good job of backing his point up back then. He kind of went to talking about fear that they had and why they obeyed and stuff, and saying, but all the men were in the military, stuff like that, and maybe that's why they were aggressive, putting hands on them. I'm gonna let him tell his piece now. But I was just saying, well, what I'm saying is, I feel like women might have been more, I guess, lack of better words, more obedient and more submissive back then than they are today. But that don't mean that everybody was at home catching the right hooks. All right, tell your side, G, and then we'll let BD talk. Or Terry also, if they got something to say.
Yeah, I was just saying, I wasn't speaking, again, as a whole on a mass. I was speaking from that time period where they were in war. Terry, you might can speak to this. You said about 50s and 60s, didn't you?
Say that one more time. Say that.
I was saying you might can speak to this because you was talking, you were saying you knew about the past like that. So I was just saying, you might know about the war. So when the men came back from war, they wasn't in their right mind. There was a lot.
No, they were not.
There was a lot going on. A lot of women were getting beat, like probably more than they were getting beat before. And that's what I was saying. Like when the prohibition and all that happened, like, you know, they were at home wanting to leave but couldn't leave because they didn't have no money. So it was like, hey,
Right.
we gotta start
my mother was firsthand representative of that. You know, when Lonnie Jr. came back from one of them 2 Vietnam wars, you know, he was never right, and he didn't get the help he needed to try to cope with coming back after seeing all that bad stuff that they'd seen. And so I guess it led to him doing some bad things to my mom at times. You know.
Now, do you think the majority of men that went to work came back home uppercutting the women? I mean, not work. I'm sorry. You think the majority of men that went to war came back home uppercutting the women, Terry? Like I know you lived through what you lived through and what you seen, but I'm coming because Gene is bringing this up as if talking about the majority of men back then with their women in the household. So he's saying the men that went to war came back like this. So I'm like, okay, but so are we thinking that the majority of people that was out there did that?
I don't think it was the majority. I mean, because some of them came back and they were drug addicts. You know, some of them came back and you know, they were women beaters. You know, so I don't know.
What you think, D? You got anything to say, D?
Well, we just look at the statistics of back then of abuse. It wasn't prevalent. It wasn't even in high numbers.
Well, yeah, because women weren't reporting it. But I understand what you're saying. But women weren't reporting that. That was normal back then. But I understand what you're saying. I mean, we got a video right here that we're talking about. Like, this ain't almost every day. But I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying, hey, we do an average is it probably less than 1%. I mean, men are not abusing their women. That's never been historical. Men don't do that.
I think we really,
especially in the village, you got their family and we had a culture back then. You woman walking around with a black eye, that'd be a stain on you and your reputation, bro.
You know what? Do you bring up a good point of how everybody kind of knew everybody back then, at least in your area you lived at. See, nowadays with social media, this lady can put this video out here and have everybody across the world saying this guy's a bad guy. Or back then, if the man's beating his wife at home or whatever, the people there around that neighborhood would see that like, wait, what?
Come on, man. And then you going over Thanksgiving house with your mamas and everybody like, oh my God. No, it was not like that.
Hold on, Gene got a disagreement. I see him shaking his head. Go ahead, Gene. What do you think?
No, I mean, you know, it's one of them things like nobody really, you know, on this phone really lived back then, so we can't really say what it was like per se. So, you know, we can all go off what we read, videos, things like that. So I was just shaking my head in the thought of we live in society today where your friend could be at home whooping his wife and you would never know. You know, there's a lot going on behind closed doors. There's sexual life, anything behind closed doors that you don't know. He could like get tied up. These are things that you would never know. People smile in your face all day. And be serial killers, be raper, things like that. So, you know.
So this is where things like percentages come in. Now, you saying, is it 50%? Is it 60%? Is it 90%?
Well, I'm saying like back then we don't have any evidence because again they wasn't coming forward with this type of stuff. It's just like now we have plenty of cases, Bill Cosby case, R. Kelly case. You can go through all the cases where women are saying, "Hey, this happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I didn't say anything. I was scared." So imagine even further back.
Well, Bill Cosby's a bad case because they came back that they was lying, and that's why he got out. So
they didn't. He got out because
they were lying.
They used some part of a testimony he had that they weren't supposed to use in the court or something like that. Not because the women were lying. Not to say that they wasn't, but I'm just telling you why he got out.
But did he go down for abuse?
No, I think he got out on some type of technicality for that trial.
Yeah, it was because they used some of his testimony in another case or something that they weren't supposed to. Another.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how we got to Bill Cosby if he didn't go down for domestic abuse.
I'm saying how women are saying things happened in the past. So imagine getting whooped in the past. So if you're having, if people are taking advantage of you in the Bill Cosby case, imagine over here getting whooped. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that we have cases going on everywhere where women are saying things happened 20 years ago, but I was too scared to say anything. So if you're getting whooped, you're even scared to say something.
I just don't. The evidence doesn't show that. We could just look up the statistics back then of music. I mean, I get what you're saying. You're saying, oh, women didn't say that back then. Now we're making stuff up when we say that. We don't know that.
That was the first thing I said. I said nobody was around back then, but I understand.
I'm saying, well, what you about to say, Terry? Terry sounded like he's about to say something.
Well, when man, it's cracking. When we mean back then, are you talking 50s, 60s, 70s? What era are we talking?
Well, what he brought up, what I was speaking about before, was during the war. So that was the era I was speaking.
Okay. So like that was like in the 60s, the Vietnam War.
Yeah, I said 50, 60, yeah.
Okay.
So all you gotta do is just look at the numbers again. That's all we can go by. We can go by ifs.
Go ahead,
no, I'm saying we just can't go by ifs and stuff like that because anybody can make some up. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can make up stuff. That's why statistics and numbers are very important. Because then people can start making up things. That's why women are delusional now. They make up these bullshit, scenarios, but the statistics don't play that. Like they always come up, well, black men is this, black men is that. When you really look at the statistics, 50% of black men are childless. Okay, that's the statistics.
I mean, I agree with that point because from the narrative from social media aspect.
Come on, exactly.
I always hear the people on the Kevin Samuel show talking about how much money they want to make, and you could tell that they're living a life where they're thinking, "I'm going to be a millionaire and make all of this money." And he just had to shut a woman down. That's like, ma'am, you got 3 kids. You don't have the time to do all the stuff you think you're going to do. Right. He's like, I'm just trying to get y'all to be realistic and understand what's really probably attainable for yourself, because I don't understand why y'all grow up in average families. Then y'all act like being average is a failure. And I was really thinking about that. Like, damn, that's deep.
Another example, in the media for the last 60 years, it's been pushed that black men have been deadbeat fathers and this and stuff. Oh, see, when you go do statistics and numbers, CDC already came out with a study when they had their best scientists study this and found out that black fathers not only are the best fathers out of all races of men, we lead the numbers of helping the kids, supportive, and all that stuff. But see, that's not pushed in the media because people like to make stuff up. Ifs, all these things been reported. No, it's not true. Right. You know what I mean? It's just not true. That's why numbers and statistics are very important. Because people can't lie. You can't make stuff up.
Right. What you think, Terry? 2 bricks. 2 bricks. You got anything to say on the end of that?
I agree with
before we wrap
up. The numbers don't lie.
Right.
I just do. I feel this. This is a feel. Somebody said earlier, women didn't report it. They just didn't. For one reason or another, they just didn't report it. It goes back to the Cosby case. I saw so many women are coming out now and reporting it now. Along the fact that they want to make some money, but that's a different story.
You got any closing arguments, Gene, before we wrap up?
No.
I mean, it'd be a good episode to have one day. We can talk. I mean, because I know even though we say numbers don't lie, I know there's some numbers that can be lied. They can be fudged. Like if you start, I mean, there's always a way to debate stuff, right? That's why debates are good, But we try to back it up with facts, numbers, statistics, probability, stuff like that should be facts to be used, but they can be fudged. You know what I mean? I've heard people talk about population, then I heard somebody come back like, "Well, that's if you're only in the census, right?" There's people that don't even turn in the numbers of the household in the census. So there's always ways people can try to deflect and be like this and that, whatever, But that don't mean some of it might not be true. So to Gene's point, there are women that's getting choked slam at home and don't say nothing. So I understand it. But I guess as far as the arguing point, to me, we got to go off of the numbers. We can't really just give too much weight to the stuff we can't prove or we can't back. if that makes sense.
See, but when we do that, we give leeway to say that's like saying all men beat their women then.
Right.
Well,
and that's where it ends up at, because
because women don't report it. All women get raped because women don't report it.
Because stuff we don't really hone in on. It starts off as one thing, it gets bigger, worse over time. Then it's kind of too late.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Okay. So I do understand that.
Yeah.
And that's to both y'all's point. If people don't say nothing, it ends up being, molestation in the black community. I heard, I've heard talk about how big that is and how that don't really get turned in and stuff. That gets bigger and bigger and bigger. If you look at the numbers on that, it'll come up real bad and real big. You know what I mean? You wouldn't believe the numbers that I've heard on that. But then I'm sure those numbers aren't exact because everybody's not turning it in, So again, from Kevin Samuel's point, when a woman says she was abused, he's like, is there a police report? He's like, because if you really abused, there should be a police report. Don't give me though, mom didn't want to say nothing. My dad didn't want to da. You know what I mean?
Come on.
But
come on, man.
Yeah, y'all. So thanks for tuning in. We're gonna wrap this up. Until next episode. I mean, y'all got any social media stuff y'all want to tell them? People follow y'all? Follow y'all where they follow y'all?
Ed Diesel 2 Swole, man. Follow your boy Ed Diesel 2 Swole.
Okay, on Instagram, you at Diesel 2 Swole.
That's right.
Gene, you got anywhere you want them to follow you at? You got a podcast you want them to?
Yeah, I got a podcast, man, but I'll talk to the people later.
Okay. Terry, what about you? Got any shout outs, anything you need to say, Terry? 2 Bricks Hinton?
Just thanks to my friends here on the phone. I don't know what my Instagram name is yet. I got an account, but I'll have to look that up for the next time.
I think you just T Hinton. I think you just T Hinton, dog. T Hinton something.
Is that what it is? I don't know what it is. I was like, man, that's a good one there. I don't know what that mother.
All right, y'all. So
next episode, I'll know.
Yeah, we'll get it together before next time. All right, y'all. So if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Please help us out. Tell your friends about us. Have them tune in. If you got any comments or anything you want to add to it, just add it below. Comment below. If you're talking to me, Eugene, Doony, whatever, Big D, Terry, you can address us in the comments. We'll try to talk back to you. Or if you got ideas for episodes or something you'd like to see discussed in future episodes, let us know and we can discuss it. All right, until then, y'all, we out.
You've been listening to Word Brings Word. It's Bruce's passion to bring in dads and men to give them a place to talk like dads and men, or to just come and hang out and have a place to pass the time. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had fun. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hook up with us on YouTube at Word Brings Word and find Word Brings Word on all podcast channels. See you next time.